What's happening, guys? Welcome to the video. So as you know, I'm in my first ever mini cut. Now let's recap what exactly a mini cut is. A mini cut is a period of time where you're trying to change your body composition a little bit in the form of dropping body fat while maintaining, maybe for some, gaining muscle mass. So for myself, my goal is not to get stage ready. I said that at the beginning of this mini cut in that first video. I am not trying to get shredded or ready for the stage one little bit. I don't need veins in my abs and I don't need striations in my glutes. I don't need anything like that. I'm just trying to tighten things up a little bit to look better for wrestling, and of course, as we're getting into summer, beach season's coming up, so I want to look good on the beach. So what I want to do in this video is recap how my first week on intermittent fasting / week in the mini cut went. Alright, now what is intermittent fasting? Let's talk about that for a sec. Intermittent fasting is shortening your duration of when you're able to eat. So for myself, I'm going to give you an example of my typical day. I'm up early, right, 4:30, 5 o'clock most days, and I was usually having breakfast, mainly my smoothie, around 5:30. And then I wouldn't eat dinner till like 8:30 at night. So that's like a 15-hour window of eating. Since I have my last meal at 8 o'clock, I've got to now not eat until like 11 o'clock. So I have that 9-hour eating window and then that big fast from 8 o'clock until 11 the next day. So obviously what I want to talk about, the first thing I noticed was that I was very hungry for a few days. My body is used to having, kind of a steady stream of food coming in throughout the day from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. And say by 11 on most days, I would have probably eaten twice. I usually would have my smoothie, as I said, at like 5:30, and then around 9 o'clock I would have, depending on if I had a client, then I would just have something quick like a protein bar or a banana real quick, so it's not like a full meal, but it's still something in my stomach. Or if I didn't have a client, then I would have a full-on meal like chicken and rice and vegetables, for example. Now all of a sudden my body's got to get used to not eating until 11 o'clock, which it was hard for like 2 days, and then I kind of got used to it and I was over it. The first 2 days I noticed at 7 o'clock I was getting the grumblies in my stomach and I was getting really hungry, but then I would drink some water and it would go away. And then about 9:30 when my body was like, okay, what's going on here? I would get grumbling again, and then it would go away again after I had some water. And then again by that 11 o'clock it was like, okay, time for food, and I was ready to eat. So for the first few days, it was hard, but then my body, as I said, got used to it, and not eating till 11 became kind of what I was doing. I was normal, that's what I was doing. One thing I did notice, however, was that if I trained in the morning, which some days I do, some days I will train right after my morning clients, so around 10:30 most days, I would hit the weights, get it done, and get it done for the day. What I did notice was that when I didn't eat before that, my training took a little bit of a hit, and from my understanding, your body gets used to that. You start to get accustomed to that, just like anything else. But that first, that only happened once last week, just the way my training fell. But that one day that I didn't have food in me when I was training, obviously because I didn't eat anything that morning, so my last food in my system was at 8 p.m. that night before, my training took a hit. Wasn't feeling it, didn't really have energy, and of course through the whole workout my stomach's growling and I'm like, okay, I'm really hungry, I just want to go home and eat. But I did notice when I trained in the afternoon, which I did last Tuesday I believe, my training was fine, which obviously I have food in my system now. I think it was like around 4 in the afternoon I trained, so I had a couple meals in me, and fasting all morning had no impact because I had that in my system. I was doing a little research, and of course some people, to subside hunger, they'll chew gum or add flavor to their water, drink coffee or something like that. You can't do any of that. It's got to be strictly water or it breaks the fast. So the one day I had gum to distract myself from being hungry, and then I went home and looked it up, and sure enough I couldn't have had gum. So technically on one day I did break the fast, but all week last week I stuck to it and stuck to the game plan. Overall, I actually feel really good. My stomach feels good. Like I don't feel like I have big lumps of food in me all day. So all morning, I feel good. I've got clarity. A lot of people have said that when they're not eating, when they're fasting, they're pretty clear of mind, and I feel that as well, which is pretty cool. And of course, getting accustomed to the way of eating. As I said, I think I'm already in there now. I'm ready to do it again. all morning. I did it this morning. It's 11 o'clock and I just had my first meal there. So all morning I'd get periods of where I was hungry, like there would be like a couple minutes where my stomach would growl, but it goes away pretty quickly. It's not like it's like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, I need food. It's nothing like that. As far as my weight and body composition goes in that first week, I lost like 4 or 5 pounds. I went from, I think it was 180 or 181, something like that, somewhere in the morning. And then the other day, last Saturday morning, today's Monday, so 2 days ago, I was 175.6, I think. So that's like 5 pounds at least in that first week. Now mind you, that's a lot of water weight and just fluid retention and stuff that's just being out of my system now. So this week we'll see how things really go. I had my calories set at around 2,600, and in the week that I lost that weight, I was in that range. So I can't guarantee you that it was because I was fasting that I lost the weight, or because I was now eating appropriate calorie amount that I lost the weight. So I don't know. But the fasting for me is a little experiment, and it seems to be working well. I'm feeling good on it. I'm excited to see what happens in the future. And as I said at the beginning of the mini cut, my goal is around 165, 168 probably for body weight. That'll be decently lean for me, so I'm excited to see how things are looking around there. So hope you enjoyed this little update video on the mini cut. I'll have them periodically as we go. But of course I wanted to update you on how the first week went, because of course the first week is always the hardest for anything, whether it's a diet or a new training program or a new job, whatever. Getting in there for that first week is difficult, and this was no different. But sometimes you gotta put your head down and get to work. So I feel good. I'm excited to see what's to come. So again, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.